I am Raj. I am having around 10 years experience in SAP FICO. I have done implementation, support, upgradation projects in SAP FICO. I do training and I do job support, and I also do the consultancies work with SAP FICO. I have trained more than 100 candidates, and through online the candidates from US, UK, European candidates and Indian 2 candidates, and I have helped them to get the job placements and assisting them how to apply for the jobs and all. So coming to SAP FICO, as a part of demo, I'll be covering what is ERP software, why SAP is required, how the training sessions will go for the next 40 to 45 days. So as a part of them, so I'll be starting with ERP software. What do you mean by ERP software? ERP means Enterprise Resource Planning. Enterprise Resource Planning. Enterprise, any organization, they have to plan their resources effectively in order to maximize the profit of the company. What do you mean by resource? Resource means your man, machinery, money. This should be utilized properly. If you take any organization, you will have a purchase department, you will have sales department, you will have finance department, you will have sales department, you will have production department. So the purchase peoples will purchase the goods from the vendors. For those goods, the finance department will pay to those vendors. Once the goods is purchased, it comes to production for manufacturing. Once the goods is manufactured, it comes to sales department for selling the goods to the customer. Once the goods is sold, the finance department will collect money from the customer. That means there is an integration between the department. This integration you cannot make by writing in the books. You need a software which integrate all your department. That software we call them as an ERP software, which integrates all your department so that management get effective reports, so that they can take effective decisions by analyzing the cost, by reducing the cost. So that's where you require an ERP software. There are many ERP softwares available in the market. SAP is one of the ERP software. Oracle is also an ERP software. Tally is also an ERP software, and you find many other customized software available in the market. But SAP stands first in the market. The reason is the integration between the department. This is where required for an ERP software is very good in SAP, and SAP can be reported in multiple accounting standards, multiple currencies. So the global currencies are going for the SAP software. What is the full form of SAP? System Application Products in Data Processing. System application in data processing. So as we said, individual department, so we in SAP we call them as a modules. People who is having purchase background, they'll do MM module, that means material management. People who is having finance background like us will be doing FICO, finance and controlling. And people who is having SD background, they do SD. People sales background, they do SD. People who is having production background, they do PP. And SAP is a developed software. Okay, to learn FICO, you don't need to have a technical knowledge. Only functional finance knowledge is sufficient for you to learn the FICO. So SAP is developed in a coding language called ABAP. Is a coding language on which the SAP has been developed. People who is having coding knowledge, technical knowledge from engineering background, they'll do the ABAP. To maintain your access, SAP system access and roles and all will be maintained by another module called Basis. So we finance consultant, we are the functional consultant. You don't require any technical knowledge or skills to learn FICO. What is FICO? FI means finance, CO means controlling. Finance is required to prepare the company's balance sheet for the shareholders, that's basically for external people. Controlling is purely for internal purpose, where for the management to analyze the cost of the company, thereby reducing the cost of the company will increases the profit of the company. So that's what we deal it in controlling. Okay, so we take the values from FI and analyzing the cost. Controlling is nothing but a costing. This FICO session training will go for 40 to 45 days with every day as 1 hour sessions. Initially, I'll be going very slow so that you can understand the concept. I'll explain every concept like this in the Word document so that you understand what I'm explaining, and whatever we are discussing, it will be get recorded, and the recorded videos are shared with you so that you can go back, listen to the videos, practice in SAP system and come back to me for any doubts. So you'll be getting SAP access also to practice whatever we do it in class. Practice and come back. The present SAP is running with the versions. The present version is running with ECC 6.0. We'll be giving the training in the ECC 6.0 only. Coming to the work, what you do after learning SAP FICO, what is your role? Your role will be an implementation role, or you may do a support role. Okay, what is implementation? Say a company want to implement an SAP software. They go and purchase SAP software from the SAP, and they'll approach service-based companies like TCS, IBM or XYZ companies to implement the software for them. You, after learning the course, will be joining those companies. Those companies will be put in the client where you understand the finance department day-to-day activities and configure that in SAP system. Is called an implementation project. You understand what all the business they do, you configure that in SAP system, give it to them. That is an implementation process. Okay, I'll explain how implementation project, how it runs and all in the later stages. So that is a role you do as an implementation. If you come to support, where once the end users, once you hand over the software to an end user, they'll start using the software every day. Once they start using the software, they'll be getting issues. They require a consultant like you in order to manage, in order to support for them. And SAP every time releases new versions to upgrade, or a client requires some enhancement in the developments. So those and all will be done by a consultants like you. So once implementation is done, they require companies require a consultants for their support activities. So this is how the implementation will go, then the support project will go. It is like a permanency of the job. That means a company implemented a software, they need SAP consultants till they use the software, till they do the business. So that's where the market is having a lot of requirement for SAP. Coming to the market of FICO, like to start a business, you require a money. Like that, any SAP project if you take, the finance module will be there, because the other module like SD may not be having implemented in SAP. They would have interfaced with other third-party application. But finance will be implemented in SAP, and number of consultants required for finance in a project is also more, because all the impacts finally happens on the accounts, and you take a report on accounts. So that's where the finance plays a very vital role, and the positions also more for SAP FICO. So during the sessions, if you have any doubt at any point of time, you can stop me and ask the questions. Okay, and if you have any doubts after while doing practicing, you can always come back to me. Okay, this I'll be covering as a part of SAP FICO. Let me go for the syllabus and explain what I'll cover in the syllabus for the next 40 to 45 days. So we'll be starting with the finance syllabus, where we talk on introductory to ERP systems, how ERP systems are there. That's what I covered now. I'll break out once again. Then we'll be starting with the enterprise structure. If you go to any company, you need to understand how the enterprise structure of the company has been set up, how the company does the business, where all they do business. So you have to understand the organization structure, how company is there, and map that to SAP system is the enterprise structure, setting up the enterprise structure. Then we'll be going to a global settings. That means a basic settings required for a company code, like setting up the financial year, setting up the posting period, per documents, how to set up the document types, how to set up posting keys, field status. So these are all be covered as a part of global settings. We'll cover in detail when we come to this topic, what is the purpose, how we do everything. Then we come to a general ledger accounting. Based on the company's requirement, how they wanted to maintain their general ledger structures. So we define a general ledger setup, we configure that, and we configure general ledgers, and we train, we will be showing how to post entries, voucher entries, the complete general ledger setup, reporting, everything will be covered as a part of general ledger. Then we'll be starting up the account receivable, where we set up our sundry debtors, setting up the individual customers, linking to your sundry debtor account, raising the customer invoices, how to do the payments, how to receive the payments from the customers, how to receive the down payment, that means advances, if anything given from the customer to you, how to handle that will be done as a part of account receivable. And I'll try to cover up some of the parts of lockbox and running in that. Then we'll be covering to account payable, that means vendor setups, where we understand the vendor, how to set up a vendor groups, how to raise a vendor invoices, how to pay the vendors, different type of payments like complete payment, residual payment, partial payment, how to handle that. Then we'll be doing the down payments, if you are paying the advances to vendors, how to maintain. Then we'll be coming to bank, where we set up, every company does the transactions with the bank, how to integrate with the SAP system, how to link the system with the bank with your SAP system. So that's why we understand in the bank account. Then how to do an automatic payment program, if you have thousands of vendors to pay in a day, how to do a setup and run a program so that all the vendors are paid based on the due dates. So that's what automatic payment program, how to issue manual payments. So all those things will be covered by integration with the bank. Then I'll be talking on terms of payment. With every customer and vendor, you will have a terms of payment agreed, how to customize that and link it in system. So how to customize that, like maybe 30 days, 60 days, discount, installment, like different way of you deal with your customer and vendor. That will be covering as a part of terms of payment. Then we'll be coming to a tax part, where we understand input and output tax, withholding tax process, and we also talk on US tax calculation process. In US, the tax calculation works based on the jurisdiction code. So how we deal that will be covering in the US taxation calculation process. Then we'll be talking on foreign currency revaluation, where we understand the foreign currency, how the foreign currency transactions happen. Like if a company company in India doing a business with US vendor or US customer, you receive the payment or you have to pay in USD dollar. When you are paying, you have the exchange rate based on the currency fluctuation. So how to handle that, based on that, what much you gain, what much you lost. So that will be done as a part of foreign currency revaluation and reevaluating in the month end. Then we'll be talking on integration with FIMM and integration with FISD. That means material management people will do the purchase. For those purchase, how the purchase flow will come to FI. The same way sales and distribution will sell the goods, how the entries will flow to FI. So how integration happen, what all setups we have to do to set up an integration. So all those things will be covered as a part of FIMM and FISD integration. Then we'll be starting up asset accounting, where we understand the complete life cycle of the asset, starting from the chart of depreciation, like acquiring the assets, sale of depreciating the asset, sale of the asset, scrap of the asset. How to maintain that complete structure of asset accounting will be explained in detail in the part of asset accounting. Then specifically I take month-end and year-end closing activities, because as a part of a FICO consultant, you will be involving in supporting month-end and year-end closing issues. So what type of transactions you have to run, what are the transactions you run in month-end and year-end, and if you and what kind of issues you get, normal issues, how to resolve. So those and all will be as a part of month-end and year-end closing process. Then I'll be explaining the new GL concept, which is a new concept available in the ECC 6.0, how we do the new GL implementation, how we migrate data from the present system with the classic GL, migrating it to new GL. So how that migration happens. So all those things will be covered as a part of new GL accounting concepts. With this, FI syllabus will be completed. Then we'll be starting up the controlling CO syllabus. So where we set up a controlling structure called controlling area. We combine the company codes because we do transactions, actual transaction in FI. So we take the values from FI to CO and analyze the cost in the CO. That is purely for our internal purpose. We analyze the cost. So on what basis we analyze the cost? So for that, what all setups required? FI GL accounts, we create them as a cost elements because we have to identify what type of cost. So we have to create revenue and expense cost element as a revenue and expense GL account as a cost element and bring it to an CO for our analysis. Then we define a cost centers, how you want to analyze your cost. Based on that, we group the cost centers and we create the cost centers. Then we'll talk on internal orders. Internal orders is used for the capitalization purpose, for the settlement purpose, or for your overhead purpose. So what are different ways of we use the internal orders? We'll discuss in the internal order topic how to do a settlement, budgeting, everything will be covered as a part of internal order. Then we'll talk on profit center accounting, how to analyze the profit of the company. So we'll analyze based on the region, based on the product. Now the SAP recommends to go for a profit center accounting balance sheet, how to do that. So we'll analyze in detail the profit center accounting concept, how it is, how it will work, how we need to do the setups. Then we'll be discussing on the product costing scenarios where I'll be explaining the production order, product cost character, how to do a make to stock scenario, make to order scenario. So all those things like how you manufacture the product from the standard cost estimate point of view, whatever required as a part of FI, related. So all those things I'll be covering as a part of product costing. And one more topic we're going to start is a COPA, profitability analysis. I'll be covering the profitability analysis, overview on that, and explain that how it will be helpful, our advantages, what we do in the operating concern. So all those things will be covered as a part of CO syllabus. This is the general syllabus which is run for 40 to 45 days. So based on this syllabus, based on the industry standards, what is required for an for a candidate to get into a job, based on that, by concentrating that, we have prepared a syllabus. So with this syllabus, you can able to achieve your goals. So during my sessions, whatever I'll be explaining everyday concepts, how it work and all, and I'll be taking you to the intro questions, what kind of questions that you may get in interview, so that you can mark it out and concentrate on that, so that you can clear the interviews very easily. Then this is on the as a part of demo part. Let me explain you a topic in SAP. The first topic will be starting with the enterprise structure. Sorry. So the first topic we go in SAP system is enterprise structure. What is enterprise structure? See, if you go to any organization, you have to understand how the companies is being set up. So based on that, you can define that particular step in the SAP system. So to do that, when you go to an organization, first you should know what is a company code in SAP. Company code is nothing but a legal entity. We call company code as a legal entity. What do you mean by legal entity? For example, assume that ABC is a company, operates in India and also operates in US. So in India to operate, okay, you need to register under Indian Companies Act. A ABC company should register under Indian Companies Act, and they have to do a transaction in INR currency in India, and whatever the profit they earn, they have to pay the taxes to Indian government. The same way US, it should register under US Companies Act. Okay, whatever they earn the profit, they have to pay to US government. They have to do a transactions in USD currency in that particular country. So India will be one legal entity and US will be another legal entity. That means we create a two company codes, one for India level, one for US level. Company code is identified by a 4-digit code, which can be an alphanumeric and unique. Okay, we can have a less than 3-digit code also for a company code. Company code is one where we call it as a legal entity. Whatever transactions you do, whatever expenses you book, whatever the transactions you do in a day, it all goes to that particular company code to get the report at a company code level. For US, I'll create a company code called ABUS. So In ABIN is one legal entity and ABUS is another legal entity. This is one scenario. There may be another scenario where in US you may operate in two different locations. Assume that you are operating in New York and you are operating in California. Your business is operating in two different locations. Okay. So in this case, you have registered in US as a ABUS as a company code you have registered. But when come to SAP system, you need a reporting based on location based. That means New York location separately and California location separately. So what you do is, as you need a location based reporting, we create individual location itself as a company code. Instead of creating ABUS as a company code, I create individual locations itself as a company code. Assume that I give some code ABNY, and for California I give ABCA, some code I have given. Okay, you can define by discussing with the client what code should be used. With some nomenclature standards, we define a code. So as we need a location based report, we created individual location itself as a company code. So transactions in New York posted to this company code, transaction in California will be posted to the ABCA company code. See, in previous to that, we are running presently with ECC 6.0. Okay. Previous to that, we had a concept called business in SAP 4.7. We had a concept called business area concept. Just I am telling for your information purpose. We had a concept called business area. Business area means where you do the business is the business area. That means New York is one business area, California is another business area. That means I am operating in two different locations in a country. In that case, I create ABUS itself as a company code. I used to create New York as a business area, California as a business area. Now SAP recommends go with a profit center accounting concept from ECC 6.0. It recommends to go for PCA, profit center accounting concept. Even if you still use business area concept, nothing to do. There is no issues, but SAP recommends to go for a PCA concept, profit center accounting concept. Okay, so I'll explain that profit center accounting concept. What is that? When I controlling part. Okay, so there was a concept called business area concept, which indicates your locations in a country where you do a business. Okay, as we say, we don't use the business area concept now. Okay, we go for PCA concept. If company doesn't want to use extensively the controlling PCA, they don't want to use, then we create individual locations itself as a company code, because I need a location based. I means company need a location based reporting, so we create a individual location itself as a company code. So this is how you have to analyze how they need the requirement. You have to understand the client requirement on what they have set up. They'll not be knowing what is company code and all. They'll say that what they need. So you have to map in SAP system and explain back to client, this is how we set up your organization in SAP system. So you have set up the company code where you do the activities. Then we set up the global company. What is your global company? ABC is your global company. We'll set up your global company. So we have set up the company code. Then we have to set up a global company in SAP system. Okay. After creating global company, you have to link these company codes or these company code, whatever the company codes created, okay, should link to your company, so that organization structure is built up where you will have a company code linking to a company. So you have to define first step. You have to define how many company codes you wanted to set up, how many companies there will be one company, so you create a company linking all company codes to a company. So this is a part of theoretical. Okay, let's go to system and understand how this particular activities are done in SAP system. See, to log into SAP system, you should use SAP logon pad called SAP GUI. You will be getting a software to download. Okay, I'll be sending you the link to download the software. You have to download the software and install that software. I'll give instructions to install the software. Once you install the software, you will find a logon pad like this, SAP logon pad. Okay, this logon pad is used to connect the SAP systems remotely. That means in your real time or in your testing, you are connecting to SAP server which is where it is located somewhere. So to that you need to have this logon pad to connect that. Okay, or if you have installed the system in your software itself, if in your laptop itself, if you install SAP software, you also require SAP logon pad to connect to the system. So this is the logon pad will come up when you install SAP GUI software. I'll double click on this. It opens the logon pad. You will be getting the server details to which server you have to log on. For that you have to click on new button and click on next. I'll be giving the details of application server, instance number and system ID. You have to add the details, click next, finish it. Once you click on finish it, it creates an icon like this. So this is the server we are logging. If you double click on this, it opens the system to login. So it is asking for the user ID password. You will be getting user ID password to log into the software. I'll be logging to the system. So it's logged into system. I've given user ID and password. It directly logged into system. Once you logged into system, you are finding a screen called SAP Easy Access. First, for next 3-4 minutes, I'll be explaining how to use SAP software. When you log in, basically when you are new to software, how SAP menus are derived and how we use software. Let's understand first. Once you come to SAP system, you directly come to SAP Easy Access. This screen we also call as end user screen. That means a company accountant, company users who do transactions daily, they'll use this screen to do a transaction like voucher entries, reporting. So all those things will be done in this screen. So as a consultant, to work this screen, we have to customize in the background. We have to customize in the background in the customization screen how to work this particular setup. So how to go to customization screen, I'll explain later. So in this screen, if the user want or you want to go to particular activity, I'll click on this arrow button. Down it comes down. Financial accounting down. General ledger, if you want to do anything, if you want to come to document entry, the particular step. If this is the end node, these are the end nodes, different screens. If you want to do particular activity in general posting, I'll double click, it opens. This is a screen where I do some particular activity in this screen. Okay, so I came to end node. I use the menu path and came to this particular screen. Okay, instead of using a menu path, you can directly come to this screen by giving the shortcut keys of that particular screen. Shortcut keys are called transaction code, TRANSACTION. We call them as transaction code. Those transaction codes should be given in this box and press enter. For that particular screen, the transaction code was F-02, press enter. It directly come to the screen. In every screen, if you see on the right hand side, you can see what is a transaction code. And this is a unique code. To come to a particular screen, we use a transaction code. You don't need to remember all the transaction code required. As we keep going for the classes, I'll be using repeatedly whatever is required. So with that, you can remind it. So this how we come, we go to menu paths and I use transaction codes to go to particular screen. I told we have a customization screen also. So how to go for a customization screen? As a consultant, we work in the customization screen. We do a customization setup. Based on that, the end user SAP Easy Access screen work. Okay. You as a consultant should know both customization screen setup and how to test here also, because you are the person who train the end user. How to go to customization screen? To go to customization screen, I'll use a transaction code SPRO. Okay. After and press enter, click on SAP reference IMG. See, this particular screen comes. IMG means implementation guide. Here I'll go to see enterprise structure. For example, I'll use the same way menu driven, definition, financial accounting, and these are the end nodes. The circle one are the end nodes. If I click here, it opens a screen to do activity. Beside to that, you find a documentation button. If you click here, it opens and explains what that particular step does. Okay, every step you will have a documentation. If you click here, if you click on this circle button, it opens the screen to do an activity. Once you did, you close it. Okay, I'm using this screen. Parallelly, I want to use another screen to do another activity. I can click here, create new session. It opens another screen. See, I have two screens now where I can do parallelly the activities. If you want another screen, you can open. Like this, you can open maximum around 6 screens you can open. So once you are done with the activity, you just go to system, just log off. It completely log off from the system. Log off. You want to log off? If you say yes, it will completely log out from the system. Once you are done, you can log out from the system. Okay, this is how we use the software. So this is a general overview on how we use software, what is customization screen, what is end user screen, where we do the system, where the end users work, how to navigate the software. This is a basic how we use the software. So this is how we use software every day. So I told in my syllabus, like I explained you regarding the company code. How to do a setup of a company code? The company code setup will be done here in the, as told, customization screen, definition, enterprise structure, definition, financial accounting, edit, copy, delete, check company code. I'll come here, I'll double click on edit company code data. Okay, it opens the screen. These are the company codes already been created by the users. You want to create a new company code, we have to click on new company trace. I'll give the company code name, 4-digit unique code. I told I'll give something called ABIN. Okay, I'll give the description of it, AB India Limited. ABC India Limited. You can say ABC India Limited. Okay. So city, which city does it belongs? You can give the city. For example, I'll give the city as New Delhi. Okay. And when you click on this New Delhi, you don't find any square option here. But when you come to country, you can find one square button here. So this means SAP has defined standard countries. From there only you have to select. If you click on this button, it shows the list. See, I am finding only one. You have to click on display all values. It click all the country list. See, to which country your company belongs, you have to select that particular code. If you know that, you can type in directly, no need to come here, because initially, so mine is Indian company code. I'll double click on India, IN, and then come to next, where you are finding the currency. You are finding tick button here. What is the purpose of this tick button? This tick button is a mandatory field. Without entering that field, system will not allow to save the activity. So I'll come to currency. Once again, you are finding the square button. You can select from the list the currency code which SAP released. For India, it has released as INR is a ISO code. CINR. I'll double click on it. It opens. Okay, it loaded here. If you know, as I said, you can directly type INR here if you know. Okay. Then we'll come to language. I'll come here. Go to language. EN. Okay, I'll double click English. Okay, then I'll click on this address details to add the address details of the company. So I'll come here, company, say ABC India Limited, the detail address, street, house number and all. And I told country is the mandatory field. If you didn't enter and try to continue, I told always tick button is mandatory. It says fill in all required entry. So I'll just say continue, give the country IN. India, you no need to select because you know the country IN means India. So I'll just say continue. Okay. Now we added information. Whatever you added information, you have to save it. Then only it will save it in system. Okay. To save it, I'll click on save button. It is asking to confirm the information. I just say continue. So once I save this pop-up will come whenever I save anything in my system. This pop-up is called, this number is called transport request number, TR number. What is the purpose of this transport request number? This is used to move the activity from development to quality. I'll explain in detail in the coming classes. If this transport request is coming sometimes as a blank, okay, if nothing is not appearing, actually it may appear as a blank. So in that case, you have to create your own transport request. I'll say create request, type any keyword. I'll say enterprise structure ABIN. I can give any keyword and save it. It came the number. Just say continue. The next time and all, it keep coming the number. You can just say continue. If it is coming with some number, you can continue. Okay, I'll explain that what transport request and all in the coming sessions. Okay, so I'll save the transaction. It says data was saved. Once data is saved, you can see ABIN is grayed out. You cannot change it. This code is a unique. If you type it once, you cannot able to change that code. Okay, so if you want to change anything here, you can change it. ABC India. If you say I wanted to add as a private, I can add a private. For example, if you missed out, if you want to edit, you can edit it. Save it. See, data was saved. So to back from the session, I'll say click on back. So once you have a company code, you are finding the list of company codes here. So you want to go to your company code, either you have to use the scroll button to go to your company code. It is very hard to go by a scroll. We use the position button. I'll click on position, give the company code AB IN is my company code. I'll give that. So you can see here, double click on this, it opens so that you can view and edit if anything is to be done. So this is how we create a company code. Next step is creation of global company. How to create a global company? I'll come here, define company. Okay, I'll go to as usual new entries. Okay, here also it asks for an identity code. I'll say something called ABGL. It asks for 6 characters. I'll give 4 characters only. I'll say ABC Global. Okay. You can give the name of the company too if you have. Otherwise, street, port, city, and country. I know IN. Currency. My global company located in India, or if it is located in US, I have to give US as a country. Okay. Language as IN. Currency as INR. What is your global company? That means I explained in my presentation. In my presentation, I explained this is a company code we created. This is a global company I'm creating. I created ABIN. Like this, ABUS also should be created in that particular screen only. So whatever company codes are there, you set up all those company codes. Then you come and create the global company. So I'm creating a global company and I'm saving it. So once I told whatever I said, it generated a request number. I'll just say continue it. It got saved. Data was saved. So I'll come back. Okay. So we created a company code in this step. We created a global company in this step. The next is linking company code to company. How to link the company code to company. I'll close the definition, come to assignment, financial accounting, assign company code to company. I'll say go here. You can find the list of company codes here. In front of that, we have to assign our company. So what is our company code? ABIN is our company code. I'll go to, by using position, I'll go to my company code ABIN. I'll give the company here. ABGL is the company code we created. For example, if you have other company codes like if you created, you can assign in all those company codes your global company. I created only one company code. For that, I am assigning ABGL. If you have created ABUS also, you can assign this ABGL to ABUS also. Clear? This is your global company. Okay. I'll save it. So whatever you do activity, you have to save every step. So this is, we have created a company code, created a global company, linked the company code to company. So the organization structure is built up. So this is as a part of demo session. I covered this. Like this every day, I'll be going very slow. And whatever we discuss, it will be get recorded, and these recorded videos will be shared with you to practice and come back. And anytime, at any point of time, if you have any doubts, you can ask me and clarify the doubts. So after listening to the video, watching this demo, if you need training from me, please contact me either through call, or you can drop me a mail for Raj SAP RAJ SAP FICO 21@gmail.com. You can call to my mobile number which is mentioned. Okay. Thank you guys.